Howdy folks and friends. So today is going to be a very exciting day. If you've been watching my channel for more than a few months, you might remember that back in, I want to say it was like July, Natalie and I did a little photo shoot with each of our boys, and we're doing the same thing today. So I think the idea is to eventually have like spring, summer, fall, winter pictures. So we've done the summer, we're gonna do the fall shoot today. The ideal weekend to have done it would have been last weekend when the colors were at their peak. There's a lot of empty trees right now, but I'm hopeful that there's like 5 or 6 really big trees out on the back road that should hopefully still have some pretty leaves on them, and we'll get some cute pictures. So funny, you call for one and the second one always comes. Mousy, you're not first today. No, that guy's first.
Of course, my horse goes over to Kaitlyn and is like looking at me all offended. Like, Mommy, why aren't you here? Oh, there's Merlin. Now we're gonna have to make Mickey feel bad because we're not taking him right now. I love horses from this angle because they look like they're pregnant. Look at how cute they are. Sorry, Mickey. Oh, offended.
You're gonna get like twice the time with us today that Merlin is gonna get, so.
Exactly. Oh, okay. Yum. Hi, dog. Say hi.
We are heading back to the barn with Mousy, who is a very good boy. It was a little bit lucky, but very good. Good boy. It's just easy. They have to be there right when you're trying to...
Right at the fence.
Do stuff, don't they?
Yep. Merlin is like literally climbing through the trees. Like he's there. He's like, let's jump, Auntie.
That was very nice. Good boy. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Keep in that. Within that. Yeah. Shorten your inside rein. Good. Yes. 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 You don't want it any longer than that, because if it's too long, he's got nothing to support him. Yeah. Good. Yes. Keep the outside wall. Yes. Now just keep him within that. Very good. A little bit more. But okay, so once he's there, just soften your fingers. And keep that outside wall so he doesn't bolt. Really good. I think you're getting the feel.
Yeah, I think I need to do more leg exercise.
Yeah. Yes, yes, good. More, yeah. Really good. Yes. See, I find the difference this way versus the other way. He's harder to get this way, but once he's there, he kind of stays there a lot easier. There, that's really nice. Right there. He will go like right there. He's way too overbent because he's evading. So when he does that, leg on. And kind of lift your hands a bit. Yeah, good. Right there. Perfect. Good. So today is Sunday, and yes, I am wearing the same sweater that I wore yesterday, and I think on Friday night as well. It's an over sweater, okay? It doesn't count. I'm just about to leave for the barn. I am on Mickey duty today because Natalie's working both jobs. I was honestly thinking of just going out and feeding them and maybe doing some groundwork. I'm reminding myself that we're coming up to the end of October. The day's gonna come soon when it's cold. I mean, it is cold today, it's 6 degrees, but the day's gonna come soon enough when it's in the minuses and I won't be able to ride outside, or I won't be able to ride outside as much and do as much outside. I'm going to take advantage and I'm going to ride both Merlin and Mickey. I'll probably do like a 30-minute ride on both. Granted, I always say that and then I get carried away. Literally. Oh, Mickey. You're never far behind, are you, mouse? Huh? Hi.
If I could ever turn back time and do it all again, you know that I would. You know that I would. And if I could live it every night and do it all again, you know that I would. You know I would. You and I loved so softly, like soft serve eyes.
So I just got on Merlin and I'm riding in my dressage saddle for the first time in ages. So my riding probably isn't going to be very pretty because I find when I haven't ridden in my dressage saddle in a while, I struggle. I'm also trying not to get too in my head about riding when it's this cold, because historically, once it's gotten cold, Merlin has gone on vacation because he turns into a bit of an idiot. And I'm trying not to let that history cloud my nerves. I'm trying to go into it that he's going to be just as good as he always is, and I mean, he feels fine. I'm going to try and keep my confidence and be brave, even if he's a little silly. So I got on and very quickly realized that my stirrups were way too long and that I was like bracing into the stirrups. So I shortened them and then got on my way, and it was a lot better. Now, something I will say is because I am using my pivot a lot more lately, because Natalie and I aren't at the barn at the same time as often because of the winter weather and that kind of thing, I find myself kind of at a loss as to whether I should just put the, you know, voiceover to music, or the video to music, or whether you actually like voiceovers talking through like my mentality for the ride. So definitely let me know in the comments. I personally always like a voiceover in videos that I watch, but I know some people just like to enjoy the pretty horse. So let me know what you think. This ride I was basically just working on some of the stuff that I had worked on in the previous video where I did a dressage voiceover, really focusing on honing in on some good basics before hopefully next year starting to ask a little bit more of him in terms of laterals and stuff like that. So working on solid trot to walk transitions. You can see there how much he really has to sit with his hind end, which is why downward transitions are quite hard for him. Upward transitions are very easy, but downward transitions he really has to sit, which he finds hard because he's so big. So he's getting better, and they're definitely taking less time. They used to take like sometimes half of a short side to get a downward transition, and it would not be in connection. So the fact that he's starting to get them so much better now is wonderful. As a matter of fact, I'm recording this voiceover on December 10th. This video is from October 26, so it's been about 5 weeks ago. And Natalie wrote him one day last week, and she commented on how much his downward transitions had improved. So that's a great sign for me that I'm doing something right. So here I was basically just working on getting a more connected canter. So that's going to be my main goal for the winter, is to get him more comfortable with kind of sitting at the canter and not being so long and strung out. And also for me to get better at sitting his canter, because I feel like even when I think I'm sitting really well, there's some airspace between my bum and the seat. Like here I thought, oh my god, I'm sitting so well, and actually it's not great. So I need to work on that for sure. This, I was so happy with this. You can see me pet his neck because that was definitely the best effort at a walk to canter transition he had done. So once we had done our walk trot canter warm up, then I started doing some basically more lateral stuff. So working on some shoulder in, which is basically the main lateral I'm working on right now. I think getting a solid shoulder in will help him really understand leg yield as well. And he's doing pretty good. At this point, I haven't worked on it in a while, so I'm gonna work on it a little bit before Christmas, before he goes on his break. And then hopefully he'll come back in January or February having had some time off to process the stuff that we've worked on. And unfortunately, here is where my pivot timed out. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But anyways, finished the ride, blanketed him, and put him back outside and moved on to Mickey. First blanky day of the season. It'll come off tomorrow night. Good boy. So despite what it looks like, I promise I did brush Mickey. He's just a very dusty boy. So my pivot is nearly dead, so I don't think I'm gonna get much footage of him, but I'm basically just gonna do some walk trot. It's quite chilly today, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to canter him. I'm very impressed and happy with Mouse, especially considering he's slowly upping his workload. I think this is the first time in a while that he's been ridden that many times in so many days. It took about 10 minutes before he started to feel supple and a little bit more warmed up. So I walked him for 15 minutes and then we did 10-15 minutes of lots of transitions. The longest stretch of trot he's done his good way yet, like fully connected and really nice. About 2.5 big ovals, which is really, really good. Such a difference from even a few weeks ago. So he's been back in his paddock for about 5 minutes now, and rather than going back to his friends, he's standing here and staring at me while I clean up. Merlin is getting a haircut, and I've combed and raked his mane, and now it's time to trim. Not even 2 minutes into actually cutting the hair, and I have decided, do you hear the kitty? He hears the cat. I've decided his mane is too wet for me to actually trim it. So it's been combed and raked, and I will have to trim it another day. Look like a camel. Do you hear the kitty? Do you hear the kitty? This is his first time walking over to the indoor at night. Good man. So this will also be his first time in here in the rain. Ooh, we're feeling fresh. In the rain and at night. I'm glad I'm not riding tonight, because tonight's a perfect night to do something like this, where I just let him walk around, and I've got some treats in my pocket, so I might try a little return to positive reinforcement. He's looking like he might want to roll. He's never rolled in an indoor before. Oh, yeah, there it is. He says it's raining, Mom. And then he's gonna get up and he's gonna run. Oh no. That was a very pitiful roll, dude. Yeah. And he really hasn't been in here that much, so we've got some energy. Okay, so I am going to set up my pivot and see what he remembers of his Liberty stuff. So he technically knows how to lunge at Liberty, and also some positive reinforcement stuff, which we haven't done in a while. So we'll see how he does. So let's chat a little bit about Liberty stuff. So if you've been a subscriber of my channel for more than about 1.5 years, you'll know that I used to do a lot of positive reinforcement centered videos. I would do a lot of talk through videos about how I trained Merlin to do a certain behavior, that kind of thing. But it has been a while since I've done it, because I reached a point mid-2023, and I've actually done a video about this, so I'll link it here, where he just wasn't happy, and I just wasn't willing to, he was evidently visibly frustrated when I was doing positive reinforcement work, no matter how basic the behavior that I was asking him for was. And I just wasn't willing to put him through that frustration just so that I could say that I was training using positive reinforcement, which a lot of people say is the most ethical way to train a horse. And I do agree that it is a very ethical way of training horses, and it has served me and Merlin very, very well in the past. And I've been enjoying, from this day on, I've been enjoying doing some more Liberty stuff with Merlin as we head into the winter, and this was my first day doing proper positive reinforcement stuff in probably over a year, and it amazed me how much he remembered it. So with the lunging, I didn't teach the lunging at Liberty by using positive reinforcement straight from the get-go. So basically what happened was I taught him to lunge normally using negative reinforcement, which is why you can see here I'm using a lunge whip to help keep him out, because it's a cue that he's used to. And one day I was just fiddling around with him at Liberty, free lunging him, and I had the lunge whip out and he started circling me at the canter because I was placing my body in the same way that I do when I lunge. And it just kind of made me realize that he would lunge at Liberty. So we just kind of started working from there, and it's super fun to do. So here I am doing positive reinforcement stuff properly for the first time, like I said, in over a year. So I started just with basically a review of behaviors that he had learned in the past. This here is basically just establishing boundaries and space, and he comes into my space at the start, but then he does really well and remembers that he's meant to keep his head in the center of his chest. This way you can see he wants to come into my space, but he's being a very good boy and he's staying out of my space, which is fantastic. So I ask him for a little bit more, and I make sure that I don't click and treat until he's, so you can see here, he's coming out, and then he puts his head in the center of his chest, and I wait a little bit, and then I click and treat, because that's very, very, very good. So then I did some backing up, and it's stuff like this that I still do in his everyday life. You know, I always have treats in my pocket, and the things like back up, I'll click and treat. Doing some targeting, and here was first time asking him for hip targeting in over a year, and I couldn't believe that he remembered it, because that's one of those things that it took a long time to teach him. Well, a decently long time. I had to do a lot of other stuff first, but you can see how this way, this has always been his more difficult way, and he wasn't remembering, so I primed the target, I touched his hip, I clicked, and I treated, and then the next time that I asked for it, he was like, yeah, okay, Mom. It took him a couple of seconds, you can see him thinking about it, and then he yields the hip, which is awesome. And then I ask for it again, and he does more than a couple of steps, I think. Yeah, but he kind of gets confused, so I wait until he's actually yielding his hip rather than backing up. And then I thought I would ask for some side pass, which it took him a sec I waited until he had moved his front feet, and then I clicked and treated. It wasn't a perfect side pass, but it was a good effort. And I finished on this attempt here, which in my opinion was pretty freaking good for over a year of not doing it. Good boy. Oh my God, it is pouring. It was thundering, and now we're waiting it out a bit to see if it'll calm down for me to be able to take him back outside. Oh my goodness, my friends, doesn't this look incredible? Scraped, new tailings. Ugh. So it is Friday night, and I'm going to end this video today because this is actually going to be my last day at the barn for about a week, unexpectedly. I'm heading home because I don't even want to say it, but we've had a loss in our family, so I'm going home to spend time with my family. I'm going to miss these boys a lot, but he's going to be very well taken care of. So it is very windy out. He was in here the other night when it was raining, and it was very loud, but it's his first time in here with wind. Now, I will say the arena at the old farm was quite loudy in the wind. Loudy? Oh my God. Loud when it was windy, because it was a Florida style arena, so the sides could come up. So he's used to flapping. I've been in here 2 minutes now, and I haven't heard it be flappy at all. I honestly thought that tonight might just end up being throwaway. Not a throwaway, but like a desensitization ride. So far, it's not very loud. So I'm quite pleased with that. We just did a walk, trot, canter warm-up ride. He was quite heavy in the hand at the canter, but it's spooky and he's not used to cantering such tight circles, like where I can't let him stretch by going onto a bigger circle, if that makes sense. This size of circle is what we do outside to work on our more kind of working canter versus our kind of more free half seat kind of canter. So he's sweaty. It's like where it's Halloween, it's October 31st, and it was like 23 degrees today. 4 days ago, it was minus 14 overnight. Canada in the fall, that's all I'm gonna say. For once, I'm actually gonna record an outro rather than just doing a voiceover over my little outro thingy. So I hope that you enjoyed. I'm not going to do the whole subscribe thing because it just doesn't feel right, but I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Give your horse or pony a hug or a kiss the next time you see them. Hug your loved ones tight, and I will see you next time. Bye.